Honestly, it started back when it was after my second pro fight and like his in one of his amateurs, right when he had said he wanted to go pro. We were both with LFA at the time, and I'm like, yeah,
Mm.
fine, I'll fight him, like whatever. Um, that fight didn't get set up. His man. So it happened that way, and then when he got on Contender Series of zero pro fights, that kind of put a bad taste in my mouth, and I didn't like him then. The fact that he's getting promoted, he's fighting in a prime slot, whereas I'm the first fight on Contender Series. I
Yeah.
mean, there's not going to be a whole lot of eyes on me, and it only got worse. Once we were both signed, his management company called me and asked if I wanted to be managed by them, and I was like, nah, because I like my management company. I like Mata Leon. That's who I signed with.
Yeah.
And they kind of just kept name dropping, and it got to him, and I was like, I don't like that guy. And they're like, well, why not? Are you scheduled to fight him? And I said, no. And I feel like he's being protected from me. They're like, yeah, well, that's what you do when you're building a star. Like, we're building a star. So they basically told me that he's not going to fight me. And on top of that, you've got a guy like me. I've given everything to this sport. I've spent my entire life trying to do things the right way.
Yeah.
I went to high school. I graduated from high school. Went to a top high school. Then I got Eagle Scout. I went to college. I got my degree. I wrestled collegiate. I was a team captain. My whole life, I've been trying to be a good example and live things and do things the right way. And I feel like it's biting me in the butt now because there is no controversy in my past. Whereas you have this dumbass who hits chicks, who's blowing coke, gets arrested for cocaine and stuff like that, and he goes and with not as impressive of a record as me, less fights, he's getting better placement on cards, and even after he loses, he's still getting this prime treatment. It's not fair.
I guess where do you think the prime treatment kind of emanates from? You think it's more like his management team kind of pushing certain things? You think it's the UFC saying we kind of see a star in this guy because he's got the football background and all that stuff? You think it's more on that end, or like where do you think it falls?
I think it's a combination of that and a combination of the fact that it's a spectacle. He's polarizing. They know controversy sells. Conor McGregor is a prime example.
Sure.
People tune in to watch him whether they like him or not. So they know he's a big split and it's going to be more eyes on the screen. So that's what they're going to do. And I can't blame them necessarily. It's their company. They're in this business to make money,
Right.
and that's going to build money in. But what they fail to realize is, people stay for a good product. If you put out a good product, people are going to come. People are going to invest in that. People are going to consume that. So, yeah, his management company is playing a big role in it. They're promoting him as a star, and the UFC sees ex NFL player.
Right.
They're going to draw in a new audience from that. And I get it. I'm just saying that it'd be one thing if they were doing all that and he was still going out there and like at least looking like a good fighter, but he's not. And then you bring in the fact that they're bringing in bums for him to fight. Like when they signed an 0-2 guy in the company to come and fight him, that's ridiculous to me. So
What did you think about the fight from this Saturday of his? It was. I know a lot of people. The word that everybody uses is just strange. It just seemed like a weird fight. The guy who fought it was weird. Like it was almost like I would never say. I don't want to say fixed. I wouldn't. I don't want to use that word, but it was just strange. It was like he was purposely backing up, as in he didn't want to fight to begin with. It was really strange. What did you think about it?
he was definitely brought in to lose, and I thought it was a stupid fight. It was a horrible fight.
Yeah.
You're going to market this guy as a Sambo black belt, and you saw the takedown that he shot on him. It was horrible. I
Yeah.
mean, that's
Yeah.
worse than a high school takedown. And then you have the guy calling himself a pro fighter, and he cowers after getting hit one time. Come on, man. It was just ridiculous, and I didn't like it. I didn't even watch it, actually. I refused to consume any card that Greg Hardy's on because that's my power as the consumer. So I just refused to buy it. But I saw the highlight on Twitter afterwards, and it cracked me up.
Do you think you and Hardy happens? Do you think it has to happen eventually? Maybe the more you keep talking about him, you think it's kind of inevitable that.
No, I feel like he's never going to. I don't think he's going to last long in the company. You know, people are already aware that they're giving him bums, so
Hmm.
you're either going to keep feeding him bums and making him this like sideshow attraction,
Yeah.
or you know you're going to give him the legitimate fighters, and they're just not going to do that. I mean, if they do truly believe he's a champion, that's my end game. We're going to have to collide eventually, but I don't feel like he's at the end of the day. I feel like Greg Hardy's career is going to be remembered as a publicity stunt by the UFC.